Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video explaining how I got into collecting manga. We have a little buddy hanging out behind us. That's my giant sloth plushie. Yeah, so this is just going to be a little video telling you guys about how I started collecting manga, how I got introduced to it, and my first volumes of manga that I ever actually picked up. So I started collecting manga back in 2007, and that was when I actually first figured out what it was. Prior to that, I was into anime. I was starting to kind of descend slowly into building up a love for anime, but I wasn't as big into it. But in 2007 is when I feel like things kind of really, one thing led to the next, to make me really into anime and into manga. Now, personally, I prefer manga. I think it's quicker, easier, more time efficient because I don't have all the time in the world to watch anime anymore, and I almost always prefer the stories in the manga more than the actual anime. Manga has less filler, manga tends to go on and include much more story in it than anime does, so I prefer to go to manga now. But back in 2007, I was more into anime. Anyways, let's talk about how I got into manga. So I had a friend who we bonded over our mutual interests in anime, and she was reading a manga one day, and it was actually Tokyo Mew Mew a la mode. Yes, Tokyo Mew Mew. And I was like, I didn't know what manga was at the time, so I was kind of interested in what it was, and she basically showed me what it was. I mean, cute, magical girls, who couldn't be into that? And then she actually said that she got it from our school book fair. So, yes, I was in school. I don't know if you guys had it, or if you guys had book fairs, wherever you guys went to school, but it was basically, they would set it up. Generally, it was in our library, and it would just be a place where you could buy books and, games, if you remember elementary school, the scholastic book orders, it would be like that, except all the merchandise from these book orders would be at this book fair for you to pick up, except it wasn't elementary level stuff. It was, adult stuff, or teenager stuff, I guess, young teen books. I know at that time, I think Twilight was really popular, they were selling Twilight and whatnot, but I guess the book fair actually had a small manga section, which is kind of unusual, I guess, but I feel like manga was maybe slowly starting to gain popularity around this time. The manga climate of 2007 was completely different than what it is now. Whoa, I could do a whole video on that, but yeah, so she actually picked it up from the book fair. It was, I'm pretty sure, retail for $10. And I think I only had $10 cash on me. I was aware that the book fair was happening, and I did bring some money to account for it, but she told me that they had manga, so I was pumped, to go check it out, because I was like, I need some of this, I need to expand my weeb, otaku, lifestyle and culture, I suppose. So, went down to the book fair, and they did have manga. I don't remember everything they had. I know it was a very small table, a small little section dedicated to it, but I guess that's better than nothing. And I actually did end up picking up a couple volumes, and that is what slowly and progressively spiraled my way into having 500 plus volumes of manga. So they had some ones that were on sale. I actually ended up picking up 4 books for my first go around with $10. All of them were on sale. So one of them was The Dreaming Volume 1, and that was a series by Tokyo Pop. I believe it was written by an Australian author, probably somewhere along the lines, featured in Tokyo Pop's Rising Stars of Manga thing that they used to do. Another one was Peach Fuzz Volume 1. I don't have these anymore, so I can't show you anything. And for those of you who do not know Peach Fuzz, I'm pretty sure this was for sure a Tokyo Pop Rising Stars of Manga entry that ended up winning, and it was pretty big around this time, and I believe they actually ran it in newspapers as part of the comic spread, kind of weird. So the other thing I picked up was actually this Volume 1 of Sakura Tyson. If you guys don't believe my story, it actually, on the barcode, it's stamped book fair. because that's how they basically accounted for you actually having purchased the product, so that you're basically not like walking away and stealing these books. So Sakura Tyson I feel like is a very popular series, and I feel like a lot of people do know what this is. It's got like video games, it's a huge anime franchise, it's very popular in Japan. I don't know how popular it is here. The video games are like Sakura Wars. This is one that I could probably get rid of. Like, I don't have a lot of attachments to this series, but then the one volume that I was actually like really happy and excited to get was Yotsuba Volume 1. So this is what I would like to consider my first ever volume of manga. This is still the exact copy that I got at my book fair. There's the other book fair stamp, and this was when ADV was actually publishing it, before they completely went under and ceased to exist. This is the actual copy from ADV of Yotsuba, and this was $3 at the book fair. I believe I picked up the last copy because my circle of friends pretty much bought them all. Like, I bought one, my one friend who was reading Tokyo Mew Mew bought one, and then another friend of mine actually bought it, so I'm pretty sure we cleared them out. But like, Yotsuba, I'm not too big into slice of life anymore, but this is an extremely cute series, and it actually did make me laugh back in 2007. I don't know if that would still hold true today, because I feel like my tastes have changed quite a bit, but like, I'm not gonna get rid of Yotsuba, especially my book fair copy of Yotsuba. Like, it holds such a special place into my heart, and basically from this, like, all of my manga buying, it just spiraled from there. And I remember after I read that, I needed to convince my dad to let me buy manga. My mom was on board with it. She's like, yes, you know, reading is good, but my dad's like, oh, that's money. I don't want to spend money, because at this time, like, I didn't have a job. I couldn't sustain myself and buy myself these books. So I had my parents buy a lot of them for me, which I'm ever thankful for them, you know, supporting the hobby and getting me books. And this was back when Amazon actually did buy two, get one free on like all manga, which crazy. I wish they still did that, but now it's like unheard of. They do random sales here and there, but nothing that caliber. And from reading this, I actually ordered volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Yotsuba through ADV. 2, 3, 4, and 5 actually came out. Volume 6 never did. I know Yotsuba's been picked up by another company. Maybe one day I'll go back and complete it, but as of right now, I've got volumes 1 through 5 of Yotsuba. And I feel like I have Yotsuba and my school book fair to really thank for, you know, getting myself into manga. There was a time, and I know maybe some people are like, you've been collecting for 13 years and you don't have nearly as many volumes as people that have been collecting for 5, etc., blah, blah, blah. Like, first of all, it's not a competition, so please don't consider it a competition. Like, don't... I feel like we're in such a consumeristic mindset that it's like you see somebody with something and you feel like you have to have that as well, but don't get caught up into that. Like, don't spend outside of your means. That's one thing that I will never do. I will never spend outside of my means to keep up with the Joneses, you know, like, nah. And then there's actually a time period since, like, I didn't have a job, I couldn't sustain myself, and then when I ended up actually getting a job, I saved up so much money to be able to, like, afford to move out. Like, I didn't really buy a lot of things for myself, so I would say there was a period of at least 5 to 7 years in there where, like, I just didn't buy manga at all. And it's just recently really kind of exploded for me in the past maybe 2 years since, you know, I settled down in a house, and I have a good job with a stable income that I get a very livable wage from, so I can afford to, you know, purchase manga. So my collection has just exponentially grown since being able to, you know, settle down and have a good job. But there was a period where I couldn't buy manga, and, you know, if you guys go through that too, like, don't feel ashamed about it. You know, we all have to do what we all have to do. And one thing I really recommend is do not spend outside of your means. Do not charge up, like, credit card debt and all this other kind of debt just because you feel like, oh, these people on Instagram or these people on YouTube, these people on the internet have all these volumes and they're preaching to us how good they are. Like, don't feel like you need to go out and do that for yourself. That was kind of like a tangent thing that I went into, but yes, my first volumes of manga were The Dreaming Volume 1, Peach Fuzz Volume 1, Sakura Tyson Volume 1, and Yotsuba Volume 1. So that's kind of how I got into manga. The story, looking back on it, I felt like it would be more interesting, but it actually seems like it's a little bit boring. But anyway, I just thought that, you know, I would kind of come on here and tell y'all what started the craze. So if you guys have liked what you've seen, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it all, and until next time guys, I'll see y'all later. Bye.